Hello, and welcome to another episode of Health Coach for Women. Today, I want to talk about suicide. Okay, and I would say this episode is for not just for women, but for everyone. And the reason why I want to talk about this episode is because it was just disturbing to me um, last week. I heard of two suicides in the same week last week. Not anyone that I know personally, but just to hear um, that two people committed suicide in 1 week is devastating. And although I know that it's much more than that, and today, and I didn't go into tracking statistics or anything like that, but I just wanted to talk about it. I just wanted to talk about it because so many people are going through some really trying times, some tough times, some rough times. And what happened was the first story that I heard about was actually my husband called me on his way to work and told me that the train was delayed because someone committed suicide. And it was touching for me because not that I have to know the person, but you know, just to know that for that person to go that far, that they were really experiencing their breaking point. It was experiencing their breaking point to where they just couldn't handle it anymore. And it's so sad, And then later on that week, I think I received a text from my daughter that someone jumped off the roof of a building and landed on another person and killed him. I'm not sure the first incident, if it was male or female, I'm not sure. But the second incident, this happened, I believe, in Yonkers, New York. The individual that took his life was 25 years old, and he landed on a man that was, I guess, apparently walking on the street that was 61 years old, and killed himself and another person. And it just really had me thinking. I'm sorry, there's a gnat buzzing around. It just really had me thinking, about life and about people and about that people are hurting, right? People are really going through some hard times and they don't know how to cope. They're unable to cope. And this is, for me, this is how this whole thing started, for me with myself. No, I didn't feel suicidal or anything like that. But it's just when a person is going through some hard, rough times and you feel like there's no way out and you feel like you have no one to turn to, no support, no help, no guidance, or feeling lost, feeling abandoned, feeling betrayed, whatever those different emotions are. You need someone, a person needs someone. And so my message to you today would be, let's pay attention. Let's pay attention. It can be a perfect stranger. You can see someone every day and you will notice that maybe you don't really pay attention, but maybe just start paying attention and looking at a person's energy, their attitude. Maybe you notice that this person is always upbeat, happy, smiling, and now you notice that they don't talk as much, they don't smile as much anymore, or maybe they're walking with their head down, they're avoiding people, avoiding conversations, and I mean, you will know. If you're paying attention, you will notice. Now, I won't say in every case, because some people mask their sadness very well. Some people mask their sadness very well behind a smile. So just a simple thing as saying hello, how are you feeling today? Just connecting more with people. They need the younger generation, and even at 25, it's still young, they're more likely to commit suicide. And just connect, just reach out to those people who maybe you haven't heard from in a while, see how they're doing. You just never know what someone is going through, right? And I'm saying this for myself as well. You never know what someone is going through. And we can't, we sit and we say, well, tag, how could they, or why would they do that? Sometimes, I mean, look at celebrities, perfect example, right? They have all the money in the world, all the cars and nice homes and everything like that. And then you hear that they committed suicide and you're wondering why. He has everything or she has everything. No, obviously there is something that's missing. And there is something that's missing. There's something that they're going through, that they're having a rough time with and dealing with, that they just couldn't cope or didn't know how to cope, had no one to help and support them. So we need to be more mindful of that. We need to pay attention, and particularly with our youth, the younger generation, because a lot of them are so lost and misguided, and we just need to pay attention to that. This episode is for everyone. Okay, anyone that that may be experiencing some type of depression, going through some type of mental health crisis, please support them. Please show them your support. Even just giving out a phone number, referring them to someone, a counselor, or if someone, maybe even yourself, just someone to talk to and give that support to. Because the feelings that we are feeling, it's a feeling and it's a temporary feeling. Now, of course, if you're dealing with, if you have mental health issues, that is a little bit different, right? And if you're experience point, you definitely need to seek that professional help, and get that professional experience and speaking with someone who deals with that can really help you. But if you're just going through that moment, that period of feeling down, and which we all get like that sometimes, it's quite normal. But the thing about it is learning how to manage and deal with that stress when you feel that, deal with that period of feeling down. And so that's what we need to be able to do. Learning how to cope with things when life throws us a curveball, right? Life, that's the thing about life, is that it's full of surprises. And nothing is written out that we know how to take today is going to be. But we set our intentions of how we would like our day to go. We set our intentions on how we like our day to go, and having a good attitude about life, right? And then sometimes, things will happen. You're on your way to work, someone cut you off, someone was rude and whatever, or whatever. But you just have to being able to learn how to cope, being able to learn how to deal with your emotions, how to handle your emotions. And it's not something that happens overnight. It is something that it's a process, right? And it starts by getting to know you and understanding you, and just really being honest with yourself and asking these questions. And sometimes we can feel down. I would say this particularly for women, sometimes we can particularly feel down because we're experiencing differences with our hormonal levels, right? They're changing. And especially when you have those, when you're going through the premenstrual cycle, you can experience those mood swings, as well as when your hormone levels are starting to decrease. We just have to learn the things that we need to do and what we can do to help improve our mood, right? And just having that attitude of gratitude. And I know for some people, when you're going through that, it's hard to have that attitude of gratitude, because when you're in it and you're feeling it, nothing seems to help, nothing seems to make it feel better. But you have to know that the period that you're going through, what you're going through is a temporary feeling. Again, as I mentioned before, if you experience feeling depressed and everything for longer than 6 weeks, and everything you've done, it has not helped, has not gone away. You've tried meditation, you've tried prayer, you've tried exercise, you've tried going outdoors, you've tried, going outside, being in the sun, being in nature. You tried all of these things and it's just not going away. Yes, I would definitely recommend you speak with a professional who has expertise in that area, because there could be some things going on, right? It could be some other things going on. And it is possible that we do have, people do suffer from chemical imbalances, hormones either produce too much of a hormone. Definitely you would want to not be afraid and go out and to ask for help. Not be afraid to ask for the support that you need when you need help. Okay, and I needed to talk about this today because so many people are just going through a rough time, right? Not only with experiencing the loss of family members and friends who've passed away either from COVID or hospitalization, being sick, ill, or whatever, whatever it is. We're dealing with some type of loss, dealing with the loss of maybe your career, your job, and maybe you've been laid off and you're looking at this time now as it being this setback. But maybe it could be that spark that you need to create something new and positive in your life for those who have been laid off or anything like that. And I want you to just remember that you do have a purpose. Your purpose for being here is something that you would need to discover on your own path, your journey. But the best thing that I can tell you is to manage your health. Make your health a priority over everything. Your health comes first. And it's so important. When I say your health, I mean your overall well-being, as far as your mental health, right? Your physical health, spiritual health, financial health, and your relationship health, right? And how we relate with other people, whether it's with our spouse, family members, or whatever. We need to have the connection. We need to stay connected. We need to be able to help and love and support one another during times of need. Okay, and now with so many things, different things going on, there's no time for bickering. There's no time for hatred. There's no time for regret. There's no time for unforgiveness. Right? There's no time for that. There's no time for bitterness. There is the only time that we need right now is the time to take care of ourselves and start really loving ourselves. And this is what self-care is about. It's about loving ourselves. And don't think that men don't experience these things of not loving themselves either. I watched some episode, I don't even remember the name of the show, whatever it was that I watched. But his trauma as a child, he was molested, and as an adult, he was overweight. He was married. He was a married man, and he loved his spouse and everything. But with himself, he did not have that with himself. He did not. He said this on TV. He did not love himself. He did not like himself when he looked in the mirror. So it all goes back to you, right? We can look outward all we want for the things to bring us that joy and happiness, but it's going to always begin within. It's going to always start within. And if you're someone who had experienced trauma, maybe your parents not being there, or some type of traumatic event that has happened to you, we have to find a way to break free from that. Now, many have found their own way of breaking free from that by not remembering and just putting it out of their mind, right? But if it's believe, trust and believe that somehow it does show up in some sort of way, and it impacts our life today and how we deal with ourselves as well as other people. So I wanted to put this episode out there today, particularly on suicide and mental health, because it's so important. I mean, last week it bothered me. It really did. It troubled me, and I was just like, wow, 25 years old, he had his whole life ahead of him. Um, had he just had someone just been there to stop him. Um, I don't know if it was off a roof or out of a window. I really don't know the details of the story, but if someone had just been there to just hold his hand and say, wait a minute, and hug him and tell him, no, it's going to be okay. And just to give him that love and support in that one moment, in that one instance, it may have made a difference. And unfortunately, some stranger, some other man who his life that we don't know anything about, or I don't know anything about, is gone. And this man was just walking wherever he was going to and killed because someone else took their life, and he was killed also. And it's just it's very troubling. But I want you to always remember that what you are going through is a temporary feeling. What you are going through is temporary, and it's being able to learn how to adapt when life brings you these harsh moments that you don't want to deal with, right? You don't want to deal with it. You don't want to face it. But it is the only way to gain strength. It is the only way to overcome it, is to face it and deal with it head on. And again, I will say to you, do not be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Don't be afraid to ask for help. There's so much resources online. Crisis text line, National Suicide Prevention, which I'll have the number for you as well. The number is 1-800-273-8255. I will put that number at the link in the link below as well. And maybe the crisis text line as well. I'll put a few numbers in there. But this is what I would like for you to get from this. Anyone that you know that is going through a rough time, take their hand, hold them, give them that support. Let them know that it may not be easy, but it's going to be all right. It's going to be okay. This is my message that I have for you today on this episode. Thank you so much. Let us love and support one another and stay away from the fear, the hatred, the anger, the bitterness. We have to stay clear away from those things, because all it does is damage us on the inside. It just damages us. Yes, and even on a cellular level, not even what it does to us mentally and physically, but down to that cellular level, and breaks our spirit, right? And breaks our spirit. And we don't want to have that. We want to have a life of joy and abundance and happiness, right? And like I said before, health is a priority. Health is a priority. So thank you so much for listening in. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Click the like button, subscribe to the podcast, and thank you so much. Please share it. I appreciate you all. Stay blessed, stay healthy, and stay blessed. Bye for now.